What's up, everybody? Good morning. It's Joey G. Back in Philly. Had a nice vacation, but hey, vacation's over. School is back, and back to business. And back to business in the WWE in a state of emergency. It's at the fact where Triple H and Vince are just butting heads. I mean, Stephanie, I'm wearing sunglasses down here, but to cover my beautiful eyes, which I shouldn't. But Stephanie has been keeping them apart. There's even been a report that that bunny scene on Monday Night Raw. I was on vacation down Wildwood this past week, and I saw some of the Raw. And a bunny, Adam Rose, one of them rosebuds, you know, that geeky Adam Rose gimmick, a bunny attacked. You know, didn't attack, but cost the wrestler. I forget what match it was. It was a mid-card match. I wasn't really that interested in it. I was on vacation. And the bunny actually, cost the superstar the match. I forget who it was. It might have been Cesaro, maybe. Or Fandango. It was somebody. Or Swagger. It was somebody. And no, it wasn't Swagger. But it was somebody that cost them the match. Maybe Damian Sandow, the Miz stuntman. Or the Miz's double. Maybe it was him. But Triple H was so mad because that was Vince's segment. Triple H actually punched a wall in the arena. They were in Lincoln, Nebraska, I think, that night. And he sprained his hand. If you seen, I don't think Triple H was on SmackDown last night. And if he was, if you can notice, I don't think he's sporting it, but he has a fractured hand. The thing is that Vince says Triple H and Steph are in control. Really, Steph, and all this is happening. Okay, let me. This is my take on it, and I'll let you go. Okay, we all know the Night of Champions is coming up September 21st, 2014. For what? For how much, Dan? $9.99. How much, Dan?
$9.99.
And the whole world knows. $9.99. This is my forte. The Night of Champions are coming up. Triple H and all them are at each other's throats like it's nothing. Everybody, Monday night after Raw, Triple H said, you know, how could you put that in? I mean, if you think about the way the WWE's going, you get one company. Thank God there's not a WCW. Thank God TNA didn't get as big as WCW did. Because when they started WCW and WWE, they were at the same length. Thank God, because WCW would be kicking WWE's ass into the ground with John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Thank God Brock Lesnar's a champion, that we have a champion. But it's like a champion of a cartoonish. This is horrible. That bunny, just that bunny incident was like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, WTF, like, what is going on in the world of wrestling? It was horrible. And more I read, I mean, they were all at each other's throats. I heard Arn Anderson, Linda McMahon, Terry Taylor, who's back with WWE, not in TNA anymore, Jamie Noble, Billy Kidman, Michael Hayes, were pulling Vince and Triple H apart. Quoted rumors, Triple H can't take it no more. He'd rather just be a writer or be one of the talents backstage and still once in a while wrestle in the ring. But we all know there is nothing in the cloth. Him and Stephanie get divorced, Triple H don't get nothing. And you know the WWE would bury him. And what would Triple H do? I think he would just retire. He would retire. He's a millionaire, maybe a billionaire. I don't know, what do you call it? I think he would just retire and go into the sunset and probably marry China again. But anyway, get off that. Real quick, Vince, my take on Vince McMahon. He started it all. He's an entrepreneur. He's a genius. He's the Hall of Fame of Hall of Famers. I mean, he will be inducted. Not this year, but he will be inducted, like I would say maybe WrestleMania 35. You know, maybe then. Because I heard WrestleMania 35 is going to be in Madison Square Garden. This is WrestleMania 35. We're talking years down the road. But, I mean, he came out with so much stuff. The Kiss My Ass Club. Remember that, Danny Mac? I mean, when they had William Regal kiss his ass on national TV. Great stuff. You're fired. Mr. Sacco would have never got that big if you remember when Vince was laying in that hospital bed after Mick Foley left and he went, Mr. Sacco. That's what made Mr. Sacco. That's what made Mr. Sacco a household name. Not Mick Foley pulling it out of his crotch. Vince McMahon saying that. That's what made it big, okay? And so much he did. I mean, the Austin feud was great. I mean, the real life story with Brett, the Montreal Screwjob, the way he runs like a chicken, but he fights you. Him and his son, they'll take bumps just to make the company better. That's something WCW didn't have. That's something TNA don't have. That's something, I don't know about Ring of Honor that much. I know they wrestle their asses off in Ring of Honor. And I give Ring of Honor a bunch of respect, and I would love to work for Ring of Honor or TNA. I'm trying to get my foot in the door, and I will. And I will be the head of creative in WWE with my brother Danny Mac. But anyway, going on to more stuff, wrapping up the show. Hey everybody, speaking of Vince, one of his most famous matches ever, and I think one of the greatest matches ever, is when the Big Show debuted in WWE, when WrestleMania was here in Philly at the Wells Fargo Center in 1999. And they had the St. Valentine's Day Massacre where it was Austin versus Vince, and if Austin lost, he gave up his shot at WrestleMania. Well, Vince Stone Cold won when the Big Show came from under the ring, threw Austin and broke the cage, and Austin got out of the cage first, so he won. But Vince falling off the cage that night, I mean, Shane's falling off everything. They bust their ass for the company that they love. When Vince McMahon said, "This is my life," he means that. And there was a question to Vince, how do you keep your game face on all the time? He said, "Son, I got 200 and something employees. I have to." I don't know if I'd even want that job. I'm happy with the creative job. Thank you, Danny Mac, for that. But, you know, it's, you know, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That was a great pay-per-view back in the day. That's also a good friend of mine's birthday, Valerie. Valerie Dixon, what's up? And that's her birthday. And belated happy birthday to you. You're so hot, and NWO for life, Val. You know that, baby. All right? And, you know, Vince and Shane, they'll put their body through hell. But Vince is out of touch. He was great during the Attitude Era. He had great ideas, but he's out of touch. He's just out of touch. This PG era, the reason it came because Linda McMahon was running for senator. She lost by a landslide. I'm not saying to go out and be raunchy and use the F word or use curses. I mean, I try not to curse, you know, as much as I can, but I do. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? I don't say my show's rated PG. I don't rate my show. But the PG era should have stopped. You got grown men watching it. I mean, the Stone Cold and Rock, they wouldn't even work in this PG era. What would Stone Cold say? I mean, you know, a whoop of, I'm going to whoop your candy butt. That would be The Rock. Sticking my foot up your candy rear end. I mean, come on. It would be horrible. That's why they got an idiot like John Cena, the puppet master, doing everything. And the beard, the troll. But I have respect for Daniel Bryan. I really do. But anyway, I mean, it's just it. These are my dirt sheets. I just think, you know, with Vince, when he had Vince Russo and Ed Ferraro with him, and Bischoff came in during the 2000s, he had people that could work, Paul Heyman, Michael Hayes. Now, it's just, let Triple H do it, man. He knows what the fans want. He's a historian like me. He knows what happened, when it happened, how it happened, what city it happened. He knows what the fans want. The fans wanted Brock Lesnar as champion. He's the champion. For all you C-Nation fans out there, Cena will be champion again, but not anytime soon. Trust me when I say that. Not anytime soon. He's due for a feud with one of my new favorite wrestlers, Rusev. Hey, he might be Bulgarian and have a hot Russian girlfriend, and they might like Vladimir Putin, but I'm a big fan of Rusev. But this is Joey G's show. I'm just letting it be out there that Vince is just out of touch, and I think everybody, they're in a state of emergency. Vince needs to let Triple H know, I'm in charge, or you and my daughter are in charge, and I'm staying out of it. Something's got to go. But this is Joey G with my weekly show. The WWE's in a state of emergency, and I love wrestling and WWE. I don't want to be watching TNA and G-Force Wrestling for the rest of my life. You know what I mean, Danny Mac? But when me and Danny Mac get to the WWE, trust me, that creative team, the stories me and Danny Mac will come up will be unbelievable. This is Joey G, and you know, as the song will play, Vince, there'll be no chance in hell over his dead body is Triple H going to get that company all to himself. So it's going to be interesting to see. Please subscribe to Joey G for all the haters that get, and for everybody that watches me. Thank you very much. Peace. Shout out to all my homies, all my friends in this world. NWO for love. This is Joey G, the future of creative WWE. I'm out. Peace.